Hello and welcome to the $1,000,000 Message. This is your Fearless Friday message with Callie DeBlander Brigham, calling from beautiful Pensacola Beach, Florida. I am back home. Thank you, Caitlin, for filling in for me last week while I was on the Top Sales Director trip, and I don't really know still exactly what my name is or what time zone I'm in or anything like that. We got home Tuesday night from an incredible about 10 days or so, and part of the fun was that when we were booking our flights, we realized that we were going to be laying over in Amsterdam, just for the normal few hours, and got to thinking, that's a city we haven't explored yet. And since Mary Kay takes care of the flights and all that, why don't we extend the Amsterdam for a couple of days and sort of do a pre-trip in Europe and have some of our top sales director girlfriends and their husbands join us, and that's what we planned, and that's what we did. And so I'm going to tell a little bit about the trip, but I also want to tell a huge aha or perspective shift that I had really before the trip even officially began, and that was on the flight over. So we were flying over, and I decided that I was going to watch a movie on one of the legs of the flights. I was eating dinner, and I'm a nerd, and so I picked a documentary, and it's called The Mountain Within Me. And it is about a man named Ed Jackson, who was a professional rugby player in Britain. And I say was because he suffered an accident and became paralyzed. So obviously somebody who's so physical and athletic. What an absolute tragic blow to him in so many ways, and it's part of his journey that he takes you on in this documentary. And spoiler alert, although this is why I press play on the movie, so I'm not telling you anything that you wouldn't know from the very beginning, but he decides that he's not going to take the medical diagnosis to heart, and he climbs a mountain, a couple mountains to be exact. The neat part too is that he ends up using this as an opportunity and a ministry for other people that have also gone through similar experiences, and he uses his darkest, worst times to shine light for other people. Such a great movie, The Mountain Within Me. There's so many lines that I took away. I was actually taking notes on the flight on my phone. Yep, nerding out over here. And one of the things that he said that I thought was so powerful that I wrote down was, let me get it right. He said, he's terrified of becoming stagnant. And I thought, me too. I want to keep learning and I want to keep growing. And I know you do too. That's why you call into these messages. But the overriding feeling that I had when I got off the plane and I was telling Heather Daniel Kent and Christy Campbell, otherwise known as HTK and Cece, I was telling them about this movie. I said, you have to watch it, was that I started to say, if a paralyzed man can climb a mountain, then ... fill in the blank. And we used it in lots of funny ways too. So back to Amsterdam, they have more bikes than they have people, and the bikes rule the road and the people don't. So if you were walking, you better keep your head on a swivel. Look to the right, look to the left, look ahead, look back, because at any moment a bike is going to potentially run you over. So we would joke and say, if a paralyzed man can climb a mountain, I can survive the streets of Amsterdam and not get hit by a bike. And then we used it for more serious things as the trip went on, and we were talking about our businesses, and we were talking about our dreams, and we were talking about things that are valued to us and things that are hard and things that seem impossible. If a paralyzed man can climb a mountain, then ... And it kind of became our rallying cry and our mantra, again, in little silly things and in bigger, more important things, even in conversations that we had with corporate staff that go on the trip with us so that we can learn from them at the business meeting, but then also we can sit with them on an excursion in the countryside of Hungary outside Budapest. And we can ask some hard questions, and we can get some important answers, and we can walk away from it saying, well, if a paralyzed man can climb a mountain, then we can climb this mountain, no matter what feels like a disability, no matter what feels like a prognosis of something that you could never do, no matter what other people say or other people think, or it's never been done before, or, these are the facts, this is the reality. Well, A paralyzed man could climb a mountain. So what would that sound like for you today? What's your mountain and what's holding you back? And some of it was sheer willpower. Some of it was belief. Some of it was support of the people around him. Some of it was incredible medical staff that said, well, I guess if you think it can be done, we're going to give you the exercises and the tools to be able to accomplish it. Some of it was getting out of his own head and getting into other people. Another thing that he said was helping others is a shortcut to feeling better yourself. And he said, live your life like it's a gift to be here in the first place. Do that by starting to do things for each other. So maybe some of it is getting out of our own way, getting out of our own mind, and thinking, how can I help and support other people? So that's my main message for you today. If a paralyzed man can climb a mountain, then I can, ... fill in the blank. So it was a wonderful trip. I felt a tie to my heritage. We did get to go to the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, and it was very emotional for me personally. Part of it was as we started to go through the house, and it has been preserved from when Anne and her family were hiding there in 1944 or so for 2 years behind a hidden bookcase in a kind of an office building, warehouse type building. Everything's been preserved, and they had the list of school children, including Anne and her sister, that were not allowed to come back to school because they were Jewish. And as I looked at the list, the very first last name on the list, and it was just listed by last names, is my mom's maiden name, my grandparents' last name, Kahn, Kahn. And it just really struck me in that moment. This could have been my family, and some of it is extended family of mine, the Jewish side of my family, and it just made me very emotional. It made me also very angry, very upset, very confused, very bitter about how could this happen and how could this happen to children. And if you read the story, Anne does not survive Auschwitz. She's one of the last group of people that arrived at Auschwitz. Her dad did survive, and some of the people that hid them, that were not Jewish, found her diaries, saved them, gave them to her dad, and less than 2 years after the war, her diaries were published and now in 70 languages. So as I went through the house and I was emotional and I was upset, and I started to think, this is not the emotion I'm supposed to leave here with. I'm supposed to leave here with gratitude for the people that did do the right thing, appreciation for people that risked their own lives. I'm supposed to leave here with hope. I'm supposed to leave here with redemption. I'm supposed to leave here with resilience. I'm supposed to leave here with gratitude. And it took walking through, in pretty much silence, walking through that whole space for me to get back where I needed to be. We did go to Budapest, which I learned a lot about. There's the river Danube that goes down the center. One side of the city is called Buda, and the other side of the city is called Pest, not Pest, Budapest. Also, I loved the history of Hungary. Some of it's challenging and difficult too. It was under communism. Of course, the Nazis invaded as well. So there's a lot of resilience and hope that came from that city. Josh and I took an audio tour of the Jewish Quarter and really got to walk down some historic areas of the city. Mary Kay just, of course, outdid themselves with incredible excursions. We did a food tour. We went to the countryside. We had a gala in the Hungarian State Opera building. You can go on my social media and see all the pictures of everything. So I don't want to be too redundant for those of you that have seen it. But they just treat you like royalty. They anything that you need, any question that you have, any request that you might have, they just take care of all of the things. And of course, being around the Mary Kay women, there's just nothing like it. There were 7 first-time trip earners, and seeing the trip through their eyes and watching that experience and watching them feel welcome from the very beginning was so rewarding. So I could go on and on and on and on, but do you want to be there in Switzerland? Yes, you do. Switzerland was, as Braden, my son, would say, he left a piece of his heart in Switzerland. That was the country, as well as Italy, that I took Braden to on our epic adventure 2 years ago. And I highly recommend all the sales directors listening, do what it takes. That might be your mountain, literally. The mountains of Switzerland might be what you're up against. And you know what? If a paralyzed man can climb a mountain, you can earn the top sales director trip. You can become a sales director. You can earn a car. You can become a star consultant. You can achieve the consistency contest. So whatever it is that you set your mind to, it's time to climb that mountain. All right. Make it a great week. I'll be with you next time. Bye-bye.